The gift sat on the table, perfectly wrapped in silver paper, a white ribbon crossed neatly over the top, its bow still sharp, untouched. Ethan Cole had spent hours choosing it. A custom bracelet, thin, elegant, with a titanium core and a small embedded data crystal that shimmered when held to the light. He'd coded something personal into it, a shared photo archive, voice notes from their early days together, and a small hidden message that simply read, "Always come home." He had planned to give it to her over dinner. Candles, music, quiet laughter, the kind they used to have before her work trips became more frequent, more secretive. But the dinner never happened. Instead, Leela had kissed him on the cheek that morning, promised she'd be back before the weekend, and vanished into the hum of a departing shuttle. That was 11 days ago, and the gift still sat there, unopened. Ethan tried to ignore it, tried to bury himself in his own projects at the Orbital Systems Lab, but the silence in their apartment was louder than any machine hum. Lila worked for Ethan, a private aerospace company that had recently secured government contracts for long-range energy transmissions, quantum-linked generators that could power entire cities without fuel. Her position was technically in communications infrastructure. But Ethan knew her background, theoretical temporal physics. She wasn't just routing data, she was experimenting with time, and lately her behavior had changed. Late-night calls, locked terminals, sudden mood swings, a haunted look whenever he mentioned her colleagues from the old days. When he asked, she just said, "It's classified." Now she was on another business trip, and all he had were unread messages and the unopened gift. On the 12th night, Ethan's home terminal flickered. He frowned. It wasn't a system update, the pulse pattern was wrong. The holographic interface brightened, then distorted into static before forming a faint outline of a familiar face. Lila, but not quite her. Her hair was shorter, eyes darker, movements strange, like the video was out of sync. "Ethan," she said, her voice layered with digital distortion. "If this finds you, I don't have much time." "Leela," he reached toward the projection. "Where are you?" She glanced over her shoulder, panic flashing across her face. "Don't trust Ethan. They're not mapping energy. They're mapping selves." "What are you talking about?" "They found a way to use the energy lattice for replication. They're sending copies of us across the quantum field, each one a test, each one believing they're the original copies." His stomach twisted. She nodded. "I've seen myself die 3 times, Ethan. And every time they reboot the sequence, I wake up in another timeline, another trip." He stared, disbelief warring with dread. "That's impossible." Her voice cracked. "It's not. And they'll come for you when they realize what I sent you." "What you?" Before he could finish, the feed disintegrated into static. The terminal blinked once. Then, silence. He stood there, frozen, pulse hammering. Then he remembered the gift, the bracelet. He grabbed it from the table, tore open the wrapping. The embedded data crystal pulsed softly as it recognized his biosignature. A holographic message unfolded above it, but not the one he'd programmed. It wasn't his code at all, it was hers. "If you're seeing this, the replication has started. This version of me won't make it back, but the next one might. You'll know her, she'll think she's the same. Don't tell her, just listen." His throat tightened. "Lila," the message continued, "they're using the business trips as upload windows. Every time I travel, my consciousness is scanned and broadcast through the lattice. The physical body is replaced each time. I thought it was a relay test. It wasn't there breeding perfect compliance, removing doubt, emotion, resistance. But I remember everything, Ethan, all the deaths, all the restarts. You once told me energy never dies, it just changes form. I need you to believe the same about me." The recording ended. Ethan sat in the dark for a long time, the bracelet glowing faintly in his hand, its pulse matching the rhythm of his racing heart. 3 days later, Lila returned, same voice, same smile, same everything. She dropped her travel bag by the door and kissed his cheek, casual and warm. "Sorry," she said. "Delayed meetings. How's the gift hunt going?" He stared at her. "The gift," she laughed. "You said you were finding something special for the anniversary. Did you ever pick one?" He forced a smile, hiding the bracelet behind his back. "Yeah, I did." "Show me, soon," he said softly. She didn't notice the tremor in his voice. Over the next week, Ethan watched her carefully. She cooked, worked, slept beside him. Every movement was perfect, too perfect, like a memory rehearsed 1,000 times. But she never once mentioned the message, never once referred to the warning she'd sent. At night, she'd wake abruptly, eyes wide, as if hearing something from far away. Then she'd whisper, "It's just the feedback loop," and fall back asleep. He didn't ask. He was terrified of the answer then. One evening, her terminal rang. "AETHER Corp." She answered quickly, stepping into the hallway, but he caught fragments of her voice. "Next cycle ready. Quantum variance at 0.003. He doesn't suspect anything." When she came back, she smiled as if nothing had happened. "Another trip?" he asked quietly. She nodded. "Short one. Just calibration tests in Reykjavik." He looked at her for a long time. "Lila," he said softly, "you know you don't have to keep going." Her brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" "Whatever EtherCorp is doing, you can walk away. We can both walk away." She tilted her head, studying him. Ethan, what are you talking about? He forced a smile. Nothing. Forget it. That night, after she fell asleep, he took the bracelet and connected it to his terminal again. The data crystal pulsed faint, erratic, and new files appeared. Coordinates, temporal signatures, a map of transmission points across the planet, each one marked with a date. All of them within the past 6 months. Each one labeled Lila_Vale copy hash followed by a number. There were 12 of them. And every location was an EtherCorp launch site. When she left the next morning, suitcase in hand, Ethan followed. Not directly, he knew better than that. He hacked into the public orbital relay feed, tracing her travel ID. The destination wasn't Reykjavik. It was the Faraday Array, a classified facility in the North Sea. He booked the next suborbital flight. Hours later, his shuttle descended through gray skies toward a vast, circular structure rising from the ocean, metal spires forming a web that shimmered with contained lightning. The insignia gleamed from every tower. Inside, the air thrummed with energy. He moved carefully, using her old security pass. Most workers were automated drones. A few humans monitored control panels filled with holographic streams of rotating DNA helixes and neural waveforms. Then he saw her, Lila, strapped into a vertical chamber of light, head tilted back, eyes open but unfocused. The machine around her pulsed with data, mapping, copying, transmitting. He ran to the console. A technician shouted, "Unauthorized." Ethan slammed the override key into the panel, a key she had hidden inside the bracelet. The system froze. Lights flickered. The hum deepened into a low rising growl. And then her eyes shifted. "Ethan," she whispered. "You came." He grabbed her hand. "We're leaving now." Her fingers tightened weakly around his. "You shouldn't have come. This isn't me, not the one you knew. She died weeks ago." "I don't care," he said fiercely. "You're still her." She smiled faintly. "Then you'll have to help me finish what she started." "What's that?" "End the loop." She reached toward the console, input a string of commands, and whispered, "For all of us." The chamber erupted in light. When Ethan woke, the sea was quiet. The array was gone. Only twisted metal and drifting sparks remained. He coughed, pulled himself onto a floating beam. The horizon glowed faintly orange as dawn broke, and beside him, half buried in the debris, was the bracelet, cracked, but still pulsing softly. He lifted it, thumb brushing the surface. A hologram flickered weakly. Lila's face, smiling through static. "If this is the one you find, it means it worked. We're free now. All versions ended except one. I hope it's me, but if it's not, tell her I loved her. Tell you I never stopped." The message faded. He looked at the horizon, at the world she'd saved, or maybe rebuilt. He didn't know which version of reality he stood in now, but somewhere, across some thread of time, maybe she was still running. Maybe she'd find her way back. He slipped the bracelet onto his wrist, its broken light flickering like a heartbeat. The gift was finally open, but she wasn't there to see it.